There were several statements made earlier in regards to potentially erasing certain sections of the code. I have a piece of legislation coming that would reduce the percentage given to governors while my colleague over here wants to cap it. So those sections ain't going anywhere because unlike some of us here that just talk, I actually do a lot of research. And California is on par of how we pay out our governors here in the territory. The governor of California makes $234,000 to manage 39 million people. And we're talking about under 90,000 people and want to pay out $192,000. For what? Has the Virgin Islands grown and gotten any better? And this is where my concern comes in. People want to make statements that we're doing things because of who's in office. I don't make those types of decisions. I make decisions strictly based on what is the economic impact to the people of this territory.
Do you have a question?
So, my question is, who did any type of research in regards to, the young lady said earlier that the decision was made based on the analysis that came out. And clearly there was a conflict between the legislature and the executive branch that was widely known. Who ultimately made the decision that one side was correct and the other side was wrong? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Can you clarify what do you mean one side? Who are you referring to?
The Compensation Commission sent out...
Please recognize the mic of Senator Francis Heidegger.
The Compensation Commission sent out the reports to the three branches. There was a dispute from the legislative branch who was charged with coming together and making a decision whether to accept it or not within a time frame. The then president stated he did not feel that it was acknowledged because he did not get it in proper form, so he just thought it was a simple email. There has been an ongoing dispute as to whether it's a legitimate document that came to this institution, because I have never seen it nor have ever voted whether to put it up or down. So who ultimately made the decision if one branch is saying it's not accepted and the other branch is saying that it is?
Well, I think that's where the gray area lies.
Well, if a gray area exists,
the interpretation of the law.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
The law is clear as to the way it was supposed to be submitted.
Could you hold on?
Director, yield to the senator. What's the question?
If a gray area exists, wouldn't it have been prudent that conversations would have been had to try to hash out this gray area, as opposed to one making a decision while the other one is saying, no, this is not the case?
So let me just clarify. I think the gray area was on the side of the legislature because it was clear based on the act how it was to be submitted. It was to be submitted to the legislature, the governor, and the judiciary, and that is how it was submitted. It did not clarify on the way it was to be submitted. Once it got to the head of those agencies, it was up to the head to just disseminate it accordingly. So if it's about dissemination, that I think was pretty clear. And according to Act 8384, where it was changed again by this body, the dates, 180 to 90 days, and the language that was added, non-action by the legislature, would then the recommendations would then take place.
Thank you.
Thank you. The chair will now recognize Senator Dwayne DeGraff, Minority Leader. You recognize for your 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Afternoon to my colleagues, to the people of the territory, to the testifiers. I'm happy she brought up Connecticut, because what she didn't specifically say is that the retirement, since we want to stick to the discussion, the retirement for governors and lieutenant governors is tied to a number. And that number is $5,000 for every year that they are in office. And if they go past, do a second term, it's $10,000. So calculated, it'll actually be less, since you want to talk about Connecticut. But my concern with what's happening here today is the narrative that's being put out to the public is that the actions of this institution is specifically targeting a governor. And that is 100% false. I also put in a legislation to reduce the percentage, and it was done long before this issue came up, from the term before the last one. It's only coming out now because I have over 100 bills I pushing through. So please, I don't like when y'all are coming on this floor and putting this narrative that we're trying to attack the governor. As a responsible representative of the people, I have to make economic decisions. And when I did my research and I looked at all the other states, the Virgin Islands has the most lucrative package ever given to a governor. We cannot afford it. We cannot afford it. That is it. There's no other reason for me. Whether it's the past, whether it's now, we as a people did a lot of things in the past we can't afford right now. And if the people that are sitting in this institution is trying their best to be responsible, don't label us as trying to attack nobody. Because Alma, I don't care who in that seat, man, woman, or child. The point is, I was elected to be responsible. That's it. My concern here, I don't have a problem. I think we need a cap at a maximum. Because for me, I personally trying to drop it lower. Because I went through all of the rates for several states.